This should be delightful. As someone who won a PTQ with Green Hexproof to play in my 16th Pro Tour last year, I love this. No, pass on turn 1. No, we can't win.
Ledge walker. It's a ledge walker. There's a ledge walker.
Okay, all right.
We can be a ledge walker.
Okay, we can win. That was close. Here's Nation Stirrings. All right, we can still win. If there's a ledge walker, we can win.
Yep.
It's important. You need a threat, preferably 1 mana, but if we have a ledge walker, we can still do this.
Ban Eldrazi not really flush with interaction here for this sort of deck, though. Sauer is playing 3 main deck copies of Engineered Explosives.
That's
so
game.
Has more than most.
That's game.
And that's game.
That's game. If he finds one of those, that's game. There's a right time and place for the Slippery Boggle, and it might be this weekend. Maybe 6-0.
One of all the time I've spent in the last few years covering Magic and being at tournaments, one of the most defining experiences for me was just walking around the tournament hall. It was at a Grand Prix, so it's big, 1,500, 1,800 people, whatever it is. And there was someone sitting by themselves, goldfishing Bogles. And I was just taken aback. They were just sitting there, happy as could be, with their Bogle, and just untap and drawing and slapping enchantments on and attacking. And like 5 or 6 turns of this where no opponent survives this number of attacks, you know?
You just got to see what it's like. You got to really get a feel for it.
Yes!
Ledgewalker. Oh, John. Oh, John, don't read that.
Yes!
Let's take a look at the Silhana Ledgewalker. Not looking to play fair at all is Marissa Kenkel. I love it. Hexproof and basically unblockable.
Yeah.
This is step 1. Now we got to get to step 2.
But just sitting by yourself goldfishing Bogles invites so many questions.
It does. It really does. It's
like,
tough.
What's your deal?
Yeah.
Where are your friends?
Yeah.
Just a lot of questions.
Well, can you imagine if I came up to you and I was like, "Hey, man, you want a goldfish? Or do you want to test the Bogles matchup?"
I think
you would yell at me.
I'm not kidding when I say this. I seriously think that's the reason that people don't have enough sideboard cards for Bogles.
No, of course.
Generally speaking, and what part of the reason I think it is a valid metagame call at times is because the process of playing against it is so bad that you don't realize how bad your matchup is because you can't get it. You don't want to play any games beforehand. You'd rather lose than test against it.
Hey, man, want to get some games?
Yes.
In? Rancor, thanks. Coronet, that's game. Attack you for 300.
So I count 6.
It's actually 6. Yeah.
We don't have any of the multipliers right now because there's no ethereal armors.
Correct. 6 lifelink, first strike, vigilant, trample, damage. If John draws Engineered Explosives, the game is over immediately.
But if he does not,
the game is over immediately.
Yeah.
For the other person. There's a comfort level to being all in.
Yeah.
For me when I play Magic.
I've
played Belcher. I'm playing Revolt Zoo right now. I've played Green-White Hexproof. I just like being all in, having no control over anything.
There is a certain satisfaction with walking away from a game knowing, honestly, there's nothing I could have done differently. Because when people say that, they often imply, well, you know, none of the lines I would have selected matter or I chose the best lines. And here it's literally my cards only have the one function. So what could I have done differently?
Oh, a Coronet and Ethereal Armor. There is no good selection.
Yeah, Sauer's in the abyss now.
Yes. I gotta read them both, huh?
He also can't block. I think Sky Spawner is the only creature in his deck that can block.
Yeah, momentarily.
And only for a moment.
Uh-huh. Can't target any of the creatures with Drowner. Reality Smasher no good. So John's got a big draw step next turn because it's EE or Busto.
It can't race, obviously.
Why?
Coronet gains life.
Okay, got it. Of the PTQs that I've won in my life, I think the one I won with Green Hexproof was the most satisfying because I had no decisions.
Mm-hmm.
It was just either this is good or it isn't. Oh, Spirit Mantle. Oh, yes. Oh, fan me down. Not that it needs that at all, but
For
Yes!
Modern Challenge players, pairings for round 2 are
+1/+1 protection from creatures. Aura.
Once again, 4 p.m.
Is this lethal right now? So that's +4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 11. That should be an attack for 11.
I like Kenkel's style here of building the tower.
Me too.
Yeah, I like the tower with the creature up front.
Yeah. It's like kind of encroachment, but not really.
Well, she can't really help it, right? I mean, there is just a bunch of cards. I guess she could go sideways. But this allows her opponent to read all the text boxes.
Which is actually very nice.
Which is nice.
Yep.
And stylistically, I like it too.
Me too.
So.
It's like when you see people play Dredge and they fan out their graveyard like a bunch of nonsense to help the opponent. It's kind of like that for this as well. I can get behind this style.
I like the attack there.
Good. I agree with you.
For reasons.
Yep. Not engineer explosives, and Sky Spawner cannot defeat the Spirit Mantle or the Trample.
Yep. It looked like that could have been a draw to a chump block and one more shot at engineer explosives. I believe it is not. There is nothing I could have done differently, literally.
Both sides.
Both sides.
Both sides.
Yeah.
Now this is what Richard Garfield intended.
Yep.
Creature, put an aura on it, put another aura on it, put another aura on it. John playing it out here. That resolves.
Okay, that's in.
Draw a card.
I guess he can thought not in the draw step for information.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. You draw a card. Now I want to see your hand. I'm going to select a card. You can have Griff's Boon or Rancor. All right, I will select Griff's Boon. I would cast the Rancor.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Build the tower a little more. And beatdowns. Game. Marissa Kenkel does win game number 1 here over John Sauer. Green-white hexproof.
Bogles.
Up a game over Bantel Drazi. Yeah, baby. That's how it's done right there. Big Dan Ward probably tuning in right now.
Just so happy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the Bogles. John, with a big smile on your face. How could you be unhappy losing to that? How could you be unhappy?
Is that rhetorical? Or do you want me to
How could you be unhappy?
do you want me to actually answer that? Because I can think of ways.
It's going to get a little tougher here.
Whatever.
For Marissa, unfortunately.
To the board.
Yeah. 3 Rest in Peace, 2 Blessed Alliance, 2 Disdainful Stroke, 2 Grafdigger's Cade, 2 Natural State, 2 Stubborn Denial, a Hurkle's Recall, and the Warship.
Great sideboard here for the matchup. A lot of action. Cards that do work in other matchups, but a lot of work here. 2 copies of Blessed Alliance, the Natural States, and particularly the Warship, all stars.
John draws any of those cards, game over.
The game's over.
Cannot win.
Game's over.
From Marissa's side, 3 Leyline of Sanctity, 3 Rest in Peace, 3 Stony Silence. You'll notice that those are all enchantments for her enchantment deck.
Right.
2 Mana Tithe, I hope those come in. 2 Seal Primordium, an Eidolon of Rhetoric, and a Genetic Teague.
I would probably shuffle up and present the same 60. I could see bringing in the Mana Tides, Genetic Teague if you have respect for Engineer Explosives, or some 4-mana sweepers, but I would keep it pretty close to the main deck.
Well, those are the options there for both players. John Sauer will be on the play. He's 6-0 with Bantel Drazi. Might be 6-1 in a second here, thanks to the slippery boggle. We will find out. John will be on the play here for game number 2. In the meantime, let's talk about invitational qualifiers here on the SCG Tour. Exclusive prizes. We've kind of revamped the way that we're going about doing this, so I do implore you to go to go.starcitygames.com/IQ to learn more information about them. We've got, of course, our event finder on our website. If you can't make it to an SCG Tour weekend, but you want to get your game on, go.starcitygames.com/IQ is the place to go, so you can find out about the $1,000 that we do to the top 8 invitational qualifications, SCG points, top 8 playmat, top 8 pin, registration tokens, a whole bunch more. You can get your store signed up for it, or you can find locations yourself. One more time, go.starcitygames.com/IQ. We've changed it up here for 2017 to be able to make organizers and players as happy as possible. Love an IQ.
Yep.
Get some battling on.
Grind on the local level, win a couple bucks, get to the invitational.
It's all win. Win, win, win. That's what I say. John Sauer going to be on the play here. Now, again, he draws an Engineer Explosives. Game.
Bogles is extremely vulnerable to a handful of cards and more or less ignores everything else.
Yes. That's just how it goes. And I actually, so I'm curious what the matchup is against Death Shadow with this deck. Legitimately curious.
Well, we may get to find out.
Your creature is bigger than theirs.
Yeah.
And they don't, I mean, they do have discard, but
Sometimes they have Liliana the Veil, too, which has got to be great.
Yeah.
But
you can get the ley line out of the sideboard, bring it in, take care of their discard. Looks like John going to take a mulligan here. Now, a lot of the time when you do play against Green Hexproof, you are going to mulligan a decent amount because you're looking for one specific card.
exactly. You have some cards where if you draw it and you have anything else going on, you probably win the game. But your hands of lands and spells, absent of that stuff, is not going to be good enough. Also, keep in mind, both of these players undefeated right now. This is a win and in for day 2. This is going to be a tough cut, but 7-2 will be good.
John going to take a look at his opening hand here. See if he's going to be able to keep 6 cards or if he's going to go down to 5. All right, he's going to keep it. That leads me to believe that he probably found a hate card.
Or it's just lands and spells and you can't go to 5.
Yeah. They got the green light. John will be starting her up. Yav Kos down to 19, and I see the worship. That's game.
A creature and a worship may actually be game over, so that's a fine 6-card hand.
Windswept Teeth going to bring Marissa down to at least 19, maybe a little bit less. Now, I think John has a path in his hand. Not a big fan of that.
Well, he may have worse cards.
Matthew Thompson from draft.
Not a big fan of that. He's got 4 paths and Dismember in his main deck.
Please report to your draft.
Yeah, and he did have a lot of real sideboard cards to bring in.
Yeah.
So that is a little surprising.
It is possible this is the first time he's ever played against this deck before,
Well,
so
sometimes,
he's not aware.
sometimes they have the core Spirit Dancer. Is
They
that
do.
the card?
They do. Well, when you see Ledgewalker game 1,
Usually means no.
yeah, you can knock that out of the equation.
Yeah, can go on the all hexproof version with Glade Cover Scout, Slippery Bogle, and the Ledgewalker.
John going to play an Ancient Stirrings. Oh, no, EE.
But he also may want to just take the mana here to get to worship.
It's true.
I think he's probably too good to let go of. Although maybe its value goes down a bit here if it's public information. So probably still just too good.
I still like it. I still think it's a nice one to have. Plus, he's got another Stirrings that he can find a land with.
Sure. If he's got another Stirrings, then yeah, you can be a little bit more aggressive here, hunting for your quality cards.
Reality Smasher. Eldrazi Displacer. There's a Temple in there, too. He's going to consult the Grip Will, John, before making his selection. Also a basic forest there in case he just want a little bit of basic mana. Temple's a lot of high upside, though. So I guess his hand isn't really Temple focused.
Right. It's just the explosives, the worship.
Path.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not really a Temple hand, but there's a lot of upside to having a Temple. That'll be his land for the turn. He'll pass the turn back. Marissa will draw. It's time to load up.
Into the face of an EE.
All right, don't load up that much.
Load up a little bit. Oh, yeah. This is the hedge.
Keen Sense.
The hedge.
Great place to start. We'll take a look at Keen Sense.
You see, because you sort of get the card back.
You do. Draw. It is the color shifted Curiosity. Dryad Arbor.
More hedging. There's another threat.
Path that.
That's another threat to load up upon maybe down the line.
Yeah.
At some future date. Not right now.
Another Stirrings. 2, 3, 4, 5. Basic Plains in there is pretty nice. Keep in mind, if John does explosives for 1, blow it up, it'll kill his own Noble Hierarch. So that's why I think he might be on the hunt for some lands here.
And also, Kenkel just hasn't deployed a lot of resources. She's played a creature. She played an enchantment that replaced itself. And so this Engineer Explosives is not game over in terms of, you know, the number of cards she's invested.
There's a Sky Spawner. It'll bring along a Scion token. Marissa wants to take a moment and take a look at the Gemstone Caverns. Just a boring colorless land right now. Might come up in the 3rd game.
Yeah.
Attention Magic players, we're looking
Over to Marissa we go. She will draw. Another Boggle.
3 more drafters, 2 more commander players, and 5 more modern constructed pod players.
And now Kenkel's got to do the dance here of deploying enough to induce the Engineer Explosives while leaving enough leftovers to continue to play.
Spider Umbra. The follow-up. Spider Umbra.
There it is.
Beatdowns. No beatdowns. I take it back.
Robert
Has reach.
Hayes,
Double
round
reach.
2 of Modern Challenge is ready to begin. Please find your pairings.
John's going to take a look at this.
Robert Hayes
A
from
lot of these are
Modern
going to die. Might just see John go to the warship now, too.
I mean, the shields are down, right? That's an argument. You don't know if she's got counter spells, although her green-white deck, if she's able to interact with enchantment, probably can interact with it on the table. So I guess from Sauer's perspective, it's probably not a huge rush to play it right now.
Whenever you play against green-white expert, the shields are always down. Either you have it or you don't. Looks like John's got a little question here, perhaps about some oracle text of a card.
Jeff
And I think what he wants to know is how does this work? How does explosives work with an Umbra?
Or two Umbras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The short version is that the Boggle will be left behind and nothing else will be.
Okay.
That's the short answer. Because it's an EE for 1, so the EE for 1 is killing both the Umbras, and the Totem Armor's replacement effect is going to save this the Slippery Boggle. Here's an attack for 3 in the air.
John Mannix. John Mannix from Commander number 12. Your event is also ready to begin. Please make your
I think
way
Sauer's
to the banner to the left
the thought
of the
process
event
here is
stage.
just,
John
can my opponent beat a
Mannix.
warship? Is it just good for me to play this right now? Although there is some value, if you can win this game without exposing the warship,
There's some value there. Yeah.
because you play warship and you win this game with it, Kenkel may go back to the sideboard and find some enchantment removal. If you can conceal it, so you may not have it for game number 3.
I want to save that. Kaboom. All right, that's the bait. Got the explosives out. Now it's time for the goods. The real enchantments are coming. Draw a card. Windswept Heath.
Got to be good. She was missing land
Yep,
drops.
that's got to be relevant.
Got to
There's
like
a
to
land.
draw a Heath here.
Sack that. Temple Garden probably on the way.
Contextually, I'm guessing that it is a Temple Garden, but I have no idea what that expedition is.
It's definitely a Temple Garden.
Look at the art. Can you help me out here? Some grayish, bluish blobs on a shiny backdrop.
That the artist credit? That's the artist credit?
The art description.
The art description, yeah. Yeah.
Show some blobs, maybe a Hedron in the background.
Perhaps. Might be Hedron. Unclear.
Maybe a Hedron in the background.
There it is. It looks nice in that picture.
I don't think that really looks like a temple or a garden. That's the name of the card.
That's true. That is true. Here's the Ethereal Armor. That is the name of the card. Yes.
Right. It's you want to get at least one. Ideally both.
Oh no! It's only a beatdown for 2. What do we got left, Marissa? All right, let's
Yes.
walk. I think she might be creature flooded.
Yeah.
Gonna go John's way now. John is drawing Brushland.
Like the original Ravnica Temple Garden.
Looks like a temple garden.
Looks like both a temple and a garden.
That's correct.
Players, we now need
Here's a
one
Thought
more
Knot Seer.
draft
Trigger.
to begin the final draft of the night.
And I like this. I'm assuming the line here from Sauer is see if there's any interaction in that hand for worship, and if there is, take it, and if not, set up worship and win the game from there.
There's a Daybreak Coronet that's almost certainly going to get exiled, and a couple of Knuckleheads. There's the Brushland for John. Here's an attack for 2 in the air. Kenkel going to fall down to 11, I believe. She'll untap. It's time to draw. Forest. Worship is so lame.
It is so lame. We were discussing this a little
Come
bit off
on.
the air. There's all these single card locks in Modern, Blood Moon and Ensnaring Bridge that they show up, and as a result of them showing up, we've kind of gotten used to them, and they can be lame from time to time, but at least you're aware that that's part of the range. There are a lot of single card locks in Modern that don't show up all that often, and you occasionally get reminded, and the reaction is, oh, that's legal?
Yeah.
That's lame. Worship is one of those cards.
Worship is lame.
You're lame.
Ooh, what's this?
Fight me for real.
Yeah. Oh, Drowner.
I think Sauer feels he's ahead enough that he's trying to conceal the worship. That's my guess.
I think that's totally reasonable.
Fight me for real.
Yeah. Don't hide behind this.
Don't hide behind that.
Another copy of Ethereal Armor.
You're a coward. Look at that. Yeah. Look at that. No one looking at that thinks that you're all right.
Yeah. Temple Garden is good. We're gonna suit up the Ledgewalker.
The rare spread of Ethereal Armor.
We're splitting the double team. So now they're both 3/3s.
Once again, if you still have your voucher for your Aether Vial playmat from today's Modern Open,
we're going to be moving to a third game here momentarily.
And the first striker, so ostensibly this is sort of some blocking. Doesn't manage the Sky Spawner.
It's true.
But again, Sauer with Worship as backup.
Hiya. I think, we're talking about Simian Spirit Guide, Mox, Opal, some other cards you need to ban. Worship. Gone. Gone. Stupid way to win. Gone. Yeah. I don't like it. John's going to fall down to 8. Ancient Stirrings. A real Temple Garden.
Yeah. It's a temple and a garden.
Yeah.
I like that.
Worship and Path in hand.
Listen, Worship v. Bogles makes it really hard to root for either party. Just from in an effort to build up the narrative of the match, you know what I mean? I am finding it challenging.
I can't find a team to root for.
Right.
Well, I guess I can get behind what both people are saying here. I can. Naturally, I'm drawn to green-white hexproof.
Sure. Yeah, you have some sentimental attachment. That's fine.
Prior experience.
Right. I get it. That's okay.
I don't have a lot of. I don't think I've ever beaten anyone with a Worship before.
That seems really hard.
Because I'm not a coward. I don't hide behind enchantments to win. This is an attack for a lot of damage.
Yeah, Bogles is traditionally bad against cards.
Mostly cards.
And Worship is one of them.
Yeah. You did something? Well, that's that. Gonna block the Drowner, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I still think that are we like? Oh, I guess. Oh, yes. Dryad Arbor gets the block. From the trees comes the Dryad Arbor.
Kenkel, to her credit, not playing with the From the Vault Dryad Arbor, the sneaky forest.
That is appreciated. Yeah. Game.
Coward.
Game over. You're not going to like reading this.
Yeah.
The game is over now. It cannot be beaten.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Really hope John doesn't
win.
Really hope John doesn't draw it game 3, because you can't beat it. Marissa going to take her final draw step of this game.
How do you think Sauer was able to make eye contact when he was resolving that Worship, or did he look down?
No way, look down.
Yeah, I had that experience with Pack Rat and Limited.
I look right at him with that.
So I played a match at the last Pro Tour I played in.
Okay.
This is draft, day 2.
Okay.
Opponent plays Pack Rat on turn 2, and I lose. And game 2, he plays Pack Rat on turn 5 and makes a rat.
Dead.
And I lose.
Dead.
And the whole time, he cannot make eye contact with me.
Totally understandable.
Can't do it. Can't look me in the eye while he's doing this. I get up, and I leave my match. And next to me, Darwin Castle is playing against someone. And whoever that person is also has a Pack Rat that he's burying Darwin with in game 3, and also cannot make eye contact with him. I sit and watch just to see if he's able to make eye contact with Darwin at any point. Could not do it.
No.
Worship, very similar. You look down. You look down at the table when you resolve that. You do not look your opponent in the eye.
Is it my turn?
Yeah. Just let me know. Let me know when it's my turn. because I will not be able to tell by your body language because I cannot stand and look at you right now. It's really hard. Social cues make it really challenging.
Do we want any changes here?
Well, now the question is, does Kenkel want to go and bring in a couple copies of Seal, Primordium, and or Manatithe to fight over Worship?
I want the Manatithe so bad.
Manatithe is so sweet for. This is another card that I can't have in my sideboards because it's too much of a moral hazard.
Yeah.
Because Manatithing someone's so sweet.
It would come in a lot.
It would come in all the time.
Yeah.
Did you bring in Manatithe on the draw against Tron? Yes.
Yes, I did.
Why? You got to find out.
I tried to get his card.
Tried to get his card. Had a feeling that I had a feeling about turn 4 Ugin.
Let's take a look at the weekly sale very quickly here before we watch game number 3. We got some cheaper, up to 50% off standard singles like Felidar Guardian and Fatal Push.
Again, head over to StarCityGames.com at least once a week. New weekly sale goes up every Monday, 11 o'clock Eastern Time. So make sure to be checking back to the website once a week, see what the sales are. There's a diverse range. It changes up from week to week. Right now, up to 50% off select standard singles.
There you go. New sale coming at 11 o'clock on Monday morning East Coast time. So make sure you head over to StarCityGames.com for the new weekly sale. All right, game number 3 underway. Here we go. Hexproof Eldrazi. Let's do this. I think Marissa already kept her 7, so that's that.
Well, not necessarily. As we saw Sauer there, Mulligan in game number 2 looked for particular cards, and the combination of Engineer, Explosives, and Worship did all the heavy lifting there. So Kenkel, obviously her deck kind of just does the one thing. Important for her to keep a 7-card hand because she's about assembling a critical mass of cards. Sauer, as we saw, he can mulligan and look for haymakers and try to win the game that way.
John, take a look at 6 cards here very quickly. Take a look here at our beautiful Commander versus playmats. Now, you can pick these up at Grand Prix Orlando, some of our other Grand Prix in our Ultimate Command Zone, but also, if you're not going to those tournaments, go to StarCityGames.com/Commander2016 for our new Commander versus playmats in green, gold, blue, and red. Of course, the people who take part in that show, Jonathan Suarez, Stephen Green.
Who wouldn't want to play Magic like the American Dream, Stephen Green?
All right, you got Jeremy Knoll, and who am I missing? Justin Parnell. My bad, Justin. The big 4 of Commander versus series.
It wasn't really your bad until you said my bad. You were still within the time frame where you memorized. You had all the names.
You're right. I take that apology back.
Right. Apology retracted.
Yep. Show me a 1-drop. Great start. Here we go. John Sauer's a Blessed Alliance. We lose.
Well, he needs
maybe no white.
Yeah, no white mana. We are drawing to no white mana. Windswept Heath is really bad.
That's tough.
But you know it could be good against Blessed Alliance. Manatithe, maybe.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Not to call out too much of the match ahead of schedule, but I'm optimistic that'll come up. Maybe Sauer goes to, escalate a little bit.
Big mistake.
This game has the potential to be very good.
Yeah. Let's head over to Marissa. Load up the Boggle. Ooh, drew a Ledgewalker. Yep, step 1. Building a tower. Only 2? Do we have a second land?
I'm assuming no.
Man, okay. Sauer draws a forest for the turn. Do you know if she has Manatithe in hand?
I don't know if it's in her deck.
Okay, all right.
I have no information.
Quite the sweat. There's a Talisman.
That's what makes this so good. I have nowhere near the amount of information I need to accurately call this match. So I'm going as we go.
Seal Primordium's in. Take that Warship guy.
I was hoping she might knock off that Talisman.
In. Here we come. 4, 5.
Yep.
John down to 12.
This is still potentially land go escalated Blessed Alliance in a Manatithe. It could still happen.
It's true.
Please. Please. You got to get that 2 life back. You got to get the 2 life back. Or 4. Excuse me, 4.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no. Glade Cover Scout. Okay. Oh, that boggles down.
Yeah, I thought Kenkel had potentially sniffed out the Blessed Alliance and was just playing a creature and saying go.
That would have been the dream.
That would have been awesome, but Fortunately for her, she's losing a significant amount of the investment, but she still has a handful of spells to recover with.
It's true, only one land.
Sauer is not out of the woods here by any stretch. If he has another second big payoff card, oh, and it would have happened too.
We would have manatized that in the high health.
Yeah.
It would have been game over.
Yeah.
All right, creature down. John's going to get 4 life back. That's a rough swing right there.
Yep. But Kenkel still with a handful of spells.
Well, draws a Temple to draw.
If Sauer is just on creatures and spells that aren't sideboard cards, Kenkel can still pull this off. But it does start with land number 2 next turn.
It does. Genre of Hope is here, aptly named. 2 Scion tokens here. Let's go over to Marissa.
That was a Foothills.
Great start. Play that. What kind of auras do we have for the Glade Cover Scout? I'm going to start by sacking the Foothills. 16 at least.
So we're at the spot now where I don't think Kenkel could beat sideboard cards. But if Sauer's just on stuff, creatures and lands, what have you, the right make sure card, she can still pull this one out.
Spirit Mantle. Stony Silence. Super medium.
Yep. It answered to Engineer Explosives.
Yep. Ah, jeez.
Worship.
Come on.
Talisman shut off too, so that's just set aside.
Gonna sacrifice a Windswept Heath, will John. Basic Forest here. Bantel Eldrazi always finds a way. There's Nation Stirring. Top 5 here. A couple Reality Smashers in there. Yep, gonna take one of those.
Yep, I just imagine you cast the Reality Smasher and just get in.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I get in with everything.
All of it.
Yeah. Gonna play a little conservative, but 5, 10, 11.
I guess leaving a blocker back is an okay hedge against Keen Sense, because who knows?
Yeah, I mean, 13 life. He's got so much to work with.
Right. I err towards also getting in with the last Scion, but I think leaving one back is justifiable depending on what the follow-up is that Sauer is concerned with here.
Yeah, Stony Silence came a little bit too late. And just no second land on time either.
Yep.
Or at least much too late. Okay, we're going to fall down to 3, it looks like. She'll draw, and that's going to do it. John Sauer's going to win this match here over Marissa Kenkel. 2-1. Bantel Eldrazi will take care of green-white hexproof, and for John Sauer, he's locked into day number 2. Congratulations to him and his Bantel Eldrazi deck.
Congratulations to him. He's played very well on camera now twice. The sideboard cards did a lot of heavy lifting there. Blessed Alliance and Worship especially were key cards there. His deck doesn't interact basically at all.